Hello, this is Mountain Limited back for another video. And fire rises. I turned off the audio because well, it's the only way I could listen to it. Anyway, well, we're back. That's so. I'll start the timer. Alexa, set time. Alexa, set time 30 minutes.
30 minutes, starting now.
Delivery from mom. And let's start. Hopefully it's not laggy today. Feels smoother. Possibly. Okay, so I'm doing that. Everything's going well so far. We've stopped them from taking Hartford. And takes them out of the state of Texas. We have officially the state of New York. Praise be. So once the Buffalo Anarchist Commune led by Antifa is officially destroyed, we will have successfully freed most of the US. The Patriot Youth. Rousseau was buried in reports when a lieutenant barged in with Smith already cutting his lip. He slapped a print page onto a desk. Thomas, you should see this, he said, barely holding back a laugh. It's, well, just look. Rousseau raised an eyebrow, glancing at the paper, printed a screenshot, showed him blocky Roblox avatar wearing crude redemption of Patriot Front uniforms. They stood stiffly in formation, their pixelated flags waving over bright cartoony backdrop of an LGBT hangout map. What? Even I'm confused. He explains. The lieutenant leaned in and grinned. They call themselves the Patriot Youth. Got their own group and everything. Say here they run strategic operations and are defenders of American ideals, he chuckled. We have a mini training camp. Look, it's Founders Hall. Oh, so that it's a bunch of children, LARPers, is the term LARPers? I have no idea. They're trying to mimic the patriotic front, and how successful is of debate. Rousseau stared at this page, his lips thinning. The scene left a sour, hollow feeling in his chest. Absurdity of it, almost laughable, children acting out of their patriotism in a world of pixels. Yet the imitation felt off, like watching a boy play soldier with a plastic gun, aping actions he couldn't understand. He set the paper carefully in a foreign precision. "They're children," he said flatly, his voice devoid of amusement. "Let them play their games." So you have basically a bunch of kids mimicking a, for all intents and purposes, warlord state in the US. I'm not entirely sure if they're American. I mean, Roblox is mostly American, but it could also be like a bunch of other foreign people just trying to mimic the patriotic front. So, imitation or mockery, it's up to debate. We need to move those lines a bit. It is a separate border. No, it's not. Recruited from disaffected veterans. We've got some militia, some new Praetorians, Minutemen, Goisper, Goodnight Left Side, and Anti-Communist Action. Oh yeah, bro. That American thing they say. Who knows? Mechanize is the Second Continental Army. With victory comes rewards, and the Second Continental Army is no stranger to victory. Stocks of equipment fall under our hands, sometimes a trickle, sometimes a whole depot, depots, because the actual way of saying it is depots, because it's short for depository. We must not rest until our laurels and become complacent with victory. If we want to be the true heirs of Columbia, we must become a modern fighting force. We'll organize the spoils into a new hard-striking armored unit and form the backbone of the force to ensure our momentum is not lost. Making more pressure into Buffalo. Make pushed into New York. The Moroccan-Algerian War is happening. Don't do anything with you. Aha! Put a stronger unit here to block that unit from going up north to take Plattsburgh. Probably encircling that Green Mountain Anarchist Collective militiamen. Or not. Please don't crash my game. It has not crashed my game. And you dare to prolong the defense. Yeah. Now go to Burlington. Because that's the really destroy the Jewish Defense League. As usual. We have officially destroyed the Green Mountain Anarchist Collective. Fun fact, they have an unused reunification thing that they don't really talk about. Still can't wait till that new update. They also now give it this. Last time I tried it didn't happen. Takes more than a sickle and a paycheck to break fast shares. Collapse of the Green Mountain Anarchist Collective. As Vermont continues to burn, our forces celebrate a great degenerative evil has been crushed under boot of the heels of a glorious patriot. Most culminative effort to spread the ways of waste pleasure to date, the GMC, Green Mountain Anarchist Collective, currently lies in a crumpled heap at our feet. With our forces having completely routed and crushed the anarchists, we have seen it fit to enact quite a brutal reprisal against those who have foolishly clamoured to principles of perfidious lack of self-control. Beset upon by our soldiers, captured militants endure harsh beatings for the slightest sign of disobedience in a redemptive effort to remove them of their childish, rebellious nature. Their equally reprehensible leader, who has been subjected to swift execution and often met with taunts and humiliations before the crack of a hangman's noose, became the last thing they hear. Also, it's almost the halfway point, so 16 minutes. Their lower ranks generally consisted of anarchist degenerates and other undesirable heathens, and have met similar fates to their leadership. Many have been executed in quite orderly fashion, led by gallows, as they realize that their attempts to destroy America and American culture were all for naught. Those who have been executed have been those thrown into trucks and transported into to secure locations where they will undoubtedly be put to work for what can be considered a very productive future. They will learn what it is like to be a hard-working American. We cannot think of more fitting punishment than to have them fuel our war effort in the long run. Perhaps, if ever released, They have changed their tune regarding these foolish ideas fought for in their past, and will never come to fruition. Many civilians in their territory, as expected, are content to see the anarchists gone. However, not all of them are so inclined. It appears, unfortunately, more Americans have fallen to their ideals than we originally anticipated. As we begin to restore order and a sense of patriotic duty to their territory, we must ensure that this mindset is quickly moved forcefully if need be, a fitting end for an attempt to destroy our country. So, yeah, we've secured the entirety of Albany, and we're going to Vermont. They're not sending you over there. Try and make your way to Concord. Maybe. We're in Portland. We need to liberate Portland. I don't need any. Can't do any fuel. I don't do any of you. Siphon civilian fuel and homemade firearms. So officially, we have destroyed one of the big three of the Association of the Freed. Technically, there's three members: the Anarchist Collective, Green Mountain Anarchist Collective, the Sons of Liberty, which are supposed that, and the Anarchist Collective is supposedly getting a focus tree in the next update. Can't wait. I also don't know when that next update will be, because it's supposed to be in the third quarter, and it's almost the end of the third quarter. And the Green Mountain Company, which will not have a focus tree, surprisingly, even though they're part of the Association of the Freed. Although it's never said they'll have a focus tree. They possibly might, but it's never been said, so who knows. Anyway, we start the march. Well, suddenly they seem to have taken Boston. Taliban have taken in Kabul. Fate of mercenaries. This image is not complete. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to happen when these guys collapse. And yes, they are officially mercenaries. It's now been found out. So let's get. They will be useful for our reclamation issue pardons. Now we get the first time is money division. Go to Bangor, why don't you? We also got some more militia units. The 3rd Middletown Militia, the 1st Hartford Militia, and the 2nd New Haven Militia. Go on, lads. Let's bring them hell. Oh, got two more. The American Pie Division. And the Saving Grace Division. And that's all. Make sure to connect you with you. Take Concord. They can surround Portland. Well, they're both distracted. Also, we've mechanized the Second Continental Army. Get some elite officer corps. For all in existence, the American military has been defined as by strategic brilliance of the debate of its officer corps. Unlike some other nations, officers in our military are very flexible in their field, allowing us to win even in the most challenging of scenarios. Then again, up to debate. As parts of our army reform plan, we will apply these ideas to our officer corps while they were still will need to follow orders from high command, giving officers greater freedom on the battlefield is a necessary change. This will allow them to adapt faster to battlefield. Gives them opportunities to move on into the ranks with time. This will help mold officer corps into efficient fighting forces. It was for our forefathers. So our units get one extra planning. Get 2 new motorized divisions, which are called infantry combat teams. Cool. Also, now we have taken victory maybe in this video. It most likely will, because we have 8 minutes, and I'm pretty sure I can kill all these people in 8 minutes. Seizure of the National Guard Armory. Earlier this morning, 4 of our pickup trucks approached one of the National Guard armories near the front lines. Perimeter security was neutralized using suppressed firearms, and the primary gate guard was killed instantly, following shortly by his comrades. Surveillance systems were partially disabled. Shortly after our men broke in, radio connections were jammed or cut before any full distress signal would be sent out. From there, few resistance was met. We extracted crates of military-grade firearms, body armor, and munitions. Estimated haul included 100 M4 carbines and a large quantity of explosive ordnance. Before our men departed, we replaced all flags in the area of our own. Of course, this is mainly to prove our victory, but we felt it was necessary nonetheless. The entire operation lasted around 30 minutes. Our convoy fled the scene before local or federal response could be mobilized before. But considering the danger present across the entire front, we don't expect much federal investigation. These weapons will be for good use. The second Boston Massacre. It began with a snowball, gathering the Boston common numerous neoliberal and socialist groups gathered to protest our recent takeover of the city, highlighted some of our supposed crimes across the city and the region. Protesters bearing signs of criminal relatives that were detained demand to end of martial law and restore full civic rights. Starting small, this protest was watched closely by our forces after reports of amongst informants trickled in alleged that protesters planned to march on City Hall. Will the newly installed police chief ordered the protesters dispersed by hour's end, promising a swift retribution if his directive was not obeyed. After a brief deliberation, the protest leaders resolved by vote on continual force action They sealed their fates. On process, her apparently threw a snowball full of ice and rocks fragments at one of our soldiers, who stood calm, ordered the protesters to disperse, reiterating the police chief's orders. This seemed to only incense the protesters, who began pelting some of our men with rocks, sticks, and other debris. Following the incredibly loud bang, one soldier was hit particularly hard by a heavy object. Explained that he thought he'd been shot. He opened fire into the air. His companions doing likewise. Some protesters then allegedly surged forward, inciting a general firing onto the crowd. Now 10 people are dead. They had 67 hospitalized, hundreds of minor or grievous injuries from ensuing stampede. Meanwhile, beside the one injured before the firing, he was not, in fact, shot. We have yet to disclose this to the public. Only man sustained a minor broken arm from being an optical disaster. The chaos gave a good chance to round up the protest leaders who have been made productive to the cause after American renewal elsewhere. Get in line. So the 3rd Militant Militia has a new history entry. We also have a new armored tank, Pershing. We'll be Pershing here, because ha ha ha. Buffalo is on the brink. Make sure that's blocked so no one else can get in. To Riverhead, lads. Finally killed New York and its police. Good job, lads. Now let's get back to what's really happening and kill the crazed libertarians and the socialists now in Plymouth and the New If someone's from New York, or if you're from New York and you like what's happening, please like the video. If you're not from New York or don't like what's happening, then don't. It is your choice after the end of the day. And now I've got some helicopters, so New England will now be saved. Because now we've got air support. We have just killed the Black Market family. We also need an attack helicopter. We do not have it. Wait, we do. Raised militia in upstate New York, which didn't look like upstate New York. Personally, I believe this is, but hey, maybe the Hudson Valley's more northern than you think. Anyway. Who knows who was at peace? We've just taken Portland. Atom weapon the states. The League of the South is consolidating there. The Black Mafia family is still stonewalled. The Area Freedom Network is doing pretty damn well. Same for the Southern Federal Command, they're doing pretty damn well. Kingdom of Zion is looking steady. So the movement for revive the Aryan nations, or the new Aryan nations, is still standing strong in Hartney with a pretty powerful CPA, Cascadian Provisional Authority, and the American Liberation Army is doing pretty damn well. They've almost got the entirety of the North, except for this holdout of the state militia in Reading. But the South has been securely controlled by the state of California. Anyway. Alexa, stop. You know what? Since I'm pretty damn close, I'm gonna end the video once we've restored order in the Northwest and New England. Seven, a good thing that they're dead. The rest, Army of God. Now it's time to get to Bangor and Holton. Oh, it's because Nigeria is being invaded by the Wilayat of Garb, Afriqua. Is that the actual term in Arabic for Africa? Yeah, that's so. That's kind of funny to me, at least. Yeah, I think that's actually how you say Africa in Arabic. Afriqua. Well, anyway, the rest of the world looks more or less fine. Russia is still led by Putin. He hasn't died yet, so there's that. Taiwan's still stable. Uh, the Burmese war is still going on. Everything looks fine in the rest of the world, surprisingly. It will end when America dies. We could expect. Now to Holton. The entirety of the American North will soon fall to us. The Sons of Liberty on the 31st of December 2021. Some locations. We're making waves. We've just landed on. And the New York the NYPD is about to die. Also, the Army has just defeated the California State Militia. Riverhead has fallen, and yeah, I think we got this already. If not, no, I think we've already did. So this event will appear twice. Once when you take New York, the other time when New York you kill the NYPD. So the first Minutemen has gained new history because there's that. Let's get combat internal enemies. Despite every victory, despite our victories, our enemies remain ever vigilant. We are not only threatened by external enemies, or what remains of them, we are also threatened by traitors on the inside, radicals within our party who silently plotting against Rousseau ever since the beginning of our revolution. Though groups pose an existential threat, pardon me, to the stability of our revolution, our organization, we be dealt with immediately. By the purges of radicals that also gain the approval of the people who have been more than happy to see these radicals taken care of. This basically enables the National Socialist Club 131 from taking over the government and doesn't allow the Grand Old or Republican Party under John Doyle to take over either. So we're on the brink of victory. Charge, men, charge! Still getting soldiers from upstate New York. Can't do any of that. What do you want me to do? No, that's definitely. Also, Libya is invading Algeria. We're almost there. Plymouth has fallen. And yes. Hopefully that's not crack my game. It has not. New England reclaimed. When Thomas Rousseau had established the Patriot Front in late 2017, then, damn. As a mere teenager, I was 10 when that happened, so it's been 10 when it happened. So, as a mere teenager, he had dreamed of leading victorious armies to expel the globalists from America, state by state. But he had never imagined that the process would begin in New England of all places. Yeah, you never expect it, but it's always New England. Always have been, always will be. Battle of Florida. In a way, it was prophetic. Just as Washington Revolution had erupted in New England, so has Rousseau's. After months of brutal warfare against the various anti-fascist and libertarian militias, state governments, police force, and federal elements, don't forget crazed libertarians, mercenary group. Actually, I'm pretty sure most of them. Oh yeah, Jewish fascists. But yeah, most of them were actually libertarians. Well, one was libertarian. Most of them were actually uh, anti-fascist. No, one was actually Antifa. So there's um, the armies of the Patriot Front have reclaimed the northeastern U.S. and New England, seizing control of significant portions of American economic and population centers in the process, including New York and Boston, with the Northeast firmly under our control. The Patriotic Front, Rousseau can now only focus on building up his military strength, crushing loyalists, insurgents in the region under Patriotic Front control, and continue strengthening his standing in his organization itself. To the south, Pennsylvania and New Jersey lies significantly Federalist forces under command of Biden's D.C.-based Union of America government. Forces that make up the last significant barrier to Rousseau between Rousseau's own army and the northeast, the capital itself. If the Patriotic Front can manage to crush the forces and seize the capital, little will stand in the way of Rousseau's troops gaining control of Appalachia, nearly all of the lands to the east. For now, Rousseau will have to bide his time, but the path for victory behind becomes ever clearer for the Patriotic Front. Prepare to march south. So, three things: gain a bit more legitimacy, the looming Canadian, can't speak today, intervention, which pretty sure they haven't really modded in yet, so it's most likely just not going to happen. But because I've seen people do it, and yeah, basically nothing happens. So, prepare to march south. Also, our capital is now Boston. How can I improve Canadians liking me? I asked the man. American distance. Should have paused. Should have saved before I did that. Oh well. After I've done that, this one, I'll start with convene the Second Continental Constitutional Convention, mostly because that will allow us to make the National Front. Which, honestly, I would try doing the National Front instead of One Nation, One Solution, because it's much easier, and if you're thinking law thinking, less Americans would lose their lives for one cause when those who wish to can unite in one cause. Can't speak. Less Americans can shed their blood over meaningless rivalries while going against the major threat. If you get what I'm saying. If you don't, fair point, but if you do, you know. Anyway, should I continue this to another hour? I don't have fun for a day. I'm gonna check how long this video has actually been going on for. It's 45 minutes. Alexa, set time for 15 minutes.
15 minutes, starting now.
So, you know what, screw it. An hour long video. It's almost there anyway, so why the hell not? Sorry for my language. I get some light mechanized and basic tank. And yeah, that's light mechanized. You can also modify government, which I'm gonna do. The Canadian refused to return refugees. Our bid to secure an agreement on the refugee crisis with pressing demands has failed spectacularly. Who didn't you? The really made half an hour lectures. Canada, the issue is nearly sour. This is bound to provoke some sort of action, and despite the fact that at the conclusion the conference has not been held, it has officially killed our chances at it. Okay, so yeah, I need to go back. So You know I'm insane. Let's hope the PD. If we're very unlucky, it may actually be died in 2021. The game current month will be January 2022. Yeah, we're about to take New York and Plymouth. So not much is lost. Can be done in a few minutes. Stay. Get rid of all this. Close that, and our DIY division got that. That's happening. Plymouth will soon fall. 10 minutes to the end of the video. Putin resigns this time. Wonder what path Russia will take. That's done. We have done that. Capital is now in Boston. Oh yes. Prepare for a Canadian invasion, even though technically we have the same amount of armies. And finally get the convene the Second Constitutional Convention. At last, victory is ours. The last pockets of militia have fallen and New England is now firmly under our control. As we begin the process of centralization, the question of our future has been brought forth. Like our forefathers, we shall convene a Constitution Convention in Independence Hall, Pennsylvania, where our first Constitution was signed. Here, the future of our republic will be determined. Additionally, we will begin to centralize seeing factions within our party while ensuring Rousseau maintains absolute control. Also, after this, we have a 1,095-day timer, around a few years, start, which we need to reunify America by. Alright. The Second Constitution Convention, the Great Patriot Front banner hangs all over the floors of the Boston National Convention and Exhibition Center, where hundreds of delegates intermingled, 100 political alliances were born. The first day of the convention, along with countless personal friendships and rivalries, famous faces were surrounded by loyal acolytes and spied from afar by skeptics and opponents. Spontaneous speeches, with some moving and productive, others turgid and tautological, whatever that is, could be heard from rampart to stage. Outside the repaired convention center, a solemn sight. lay upon the city of Boston as the military occupation is lit alight with sounds of gunfire as the fledgling resistance continues to fight on. A once prosperous city of over 600,000 is now a shell of its former self, with only 35% of the residents remaining after a week of fighting. Already many of the current have made their position clear and voices heard amid the cacophony of advocating for their own brand of restoration and futurists comprising engineers, chemists, Prometheans, and traditionalists. This focusing on altering the constructive aspects of pre-revolutionary American nation, training their ire on bureaucratism, which they worry will become prominent amongst the erstwhile comrades. Ardent National Socialists, too, have since attacking the Judaizers in our midst, alongside championing any litany of racialist reform. This convention has only just begun. The future of the Republic lies in the hands of men congruent within. A tumultuous time ahead. Yeah, it's going to be a pain. You have to talk with every type of fascist about which type of fascism is greater. Yeah, it's going to be a nightmare to talk about. That's People's Militia. And an upbeat command. Who doesn't love an upbeat command? Alright, things are going much better. Also, we're going to allow Diplo because I want at least some other allies to succeed. No, the National Socialist movement will most likely succeed. There's also a possibility of the Atomwaffen, although I've seen the state of Florida can kick some Atomwaffen in the ass, but pardon my language. But that's usually quite rare. So, and the loyal knights of the loyal white knights of the KKK usually join with the League of the South when they get to invading the Southern Federal Command. So, allow Diplo. So send a volunteer to you. Who shall we send? Send the 1st National Guard defense defectors to help the other Albany and the white forces of KKK. The Aryan Freedom Network. Oh, sorry, I had some. My game crashed again. Then the crash report crashed itself. So, Alexa, resume the timer.
Your 15-minute timer resumed on Tom's Echo Dog with about 3 minutes left.
Thank you. So I managed to send some troopers to help out the KKK lads. I'll send some troopers to the AFN. Never won a trooper, so send our best boys to beat back the libtards. Is that the term for them? Whatever Americans speak. Send some lads to help the folkish. And finally, send a boy to help the Aryanic peoples learn to be liberated and pray that my game doesn't crash again. Pray heavily. Of that. And with all that done, they're off to help our brothers from around the world help free themselves. Although I don't like how uh, the National Socialists are failing miserably in Michigan. I mean, they got Detroit, but they're about to lose their own capital, so it's better to send a guy to save a brother out. Is that I have no idea. Anyway, Goisper, go in and help these nut jobs out. So, other than the fear of Canadian invasion, which we can technically hold off, I like to stop very fine, and with still being a bit laggy in places here and there. All around, everything's alright. The Northwest has been liberated. The Constitutional Convention is being constitutionalized. The peace Libya's remain French, and for all intents and purposes, everything's good. So check. I'll end the video here. Next time we'll probably finish off the Constitutional Convention, create the United Front. The National Front was a real life as well. Start getting international volunteers, because that's a probably good thing. Also, I think I'd actually do need for some of these to get the National Socialist movement into our union, not just the Hutteries, sadly. Also, we need to deal with the Canadian issue. Hopefully we can do that when we do this. So, yeah. So, once we do so, we'll have a talk where we'll either become temporary, and a bunch of other things, such as some liberties here and there, and some other things. I think I'll go a slightly more democratic random teams thing. Slightly more democratic route. Not full dictatorship mode. Can't wait for the Patriotic Front by Colonel Cam video, because if it goes by dictators, he'll probably play Rousseau or the National Socialist Club 131. Probably both. Then probably the National Socialist Movement. Probably there'll be an Atomwaffen video, like real soon. It's on Antonescu, so the likelihood is it's next will be Atomwaffen, because I mean technically you could say that dictatorship material. You get my drift. Pretty sure that doesn't make sense. There's a lot of dictators you can get. Anyway, with that, I'll call the video due. So hope to see you next time. Hope to see you then. Hopefully, there won't be another crash next video. Well, next video is China, so next week's video. Hope there's no crash then. So peace. The Mountain signing out. Good day. Goodbye. Goodbye.